As a bit of a sort of background, if you look at the term itself, IoT is actually not new. It was coined in the late 90s. And it's really a fancy way of saying IoT is a collection of physical objects. That could be buildings, that could be vehicles, that could be wearables. And so where we're sitting today is really at a point where the world is entering sort of the fourth era in computing. And it's the area in which we connect the physical and the digital world and begin to really unlock a lot of value. That's when our buildings and our cars and our infrastructure really starts to get connected. And as a result, buildings are really undergoing one of the biggest transformations in history. What do you think the role of software companies is to sort of lead some of the direction of how IoT technology is constructed and how you actually develop repeatable use cases from a hardware standpoint?
You've kind of got some interesting dynamics going on. While you've got building automation on the control side, I think what's running on parallel tracks is energy management. And I think the struggle has been to bridge that gap. I think there's some automated intelligence that goes along with that. But I go back to the fact that you've got to understand where your loads are being consumed in your building. That's where I think the Lucid, the Building OS program really brings you to the marketplace, is it can take noise of data in the background, what it is that's truly going to be the most important thing that your customer's looking for.
The software is integral, and I think that really everybody across the board is realizing the shift from big iron to software. That's really where the value is nowadays. But I think there's also a shift there. So in the past, it was about safety and it was about reliability. Those were the two key driving factors. At some point, resiliency came into the equation. Recently, security has been a major focal point. But the next thing will be privacy.
What do you think fog computing or edge computing is going to do for our ability to both autonomously drive buildings and have self-driving buildings, but also to kind of crunch a whole bunch of data that may be too expensive to shuttle to the cloud and actually derive insights directly within the building without even touching a cloud solution?
Both are absolutely required. That you have to have the processing on the edge. You brought it up. You can't have a basic building function not work because the internet is down. That's just not acceptable. If you push a switch on the wall, or if you walk into a room, the lights have to come on, the air conditioning has to work, all those things have to happen just because they always have to happen, right? If there's electricity in the building needs to operate correctly. Now, is the edge in a distributed environment necessarily the right place to do a lot of storage, to do long-term data collection, to do large-scale data analytics? Probably not, right? I think that if you can have centrally managed edge systems where, again, you're going off-premises for the large-scale data collection and retention, long-term analysis, that makes a lot more sense. But real-time analytics, real-time response, that all needs to be local.
Yeah, so I agree with that, and I think that I think we need to have a fundamental shift in how things work. So I think the fog computing model is driving us to autonomy, to a smarter edge that actually can make decisions and can have a feedback loop that works even if you are disconnected. So you need to have the resiliency and the reliability in the systems, and to have the security and eventually the privacy, so that these little autonomous things can work together and build you a real system.
Building automation has been there, and legacy systems are out there. Energy management is the next wave, energy management systems. There's a lot of big commercial real estate groups out there that are in the elementary phase of that.
I think the key value here is that if the owner-operators in the building space want to have this kind of a future, you need to put the pressure on the systems integrators, I'll call you a systems integrator for terms of this conversation, service providers, to make this kind of a reality.